Breaking news in Connecticut.
She described it as a pop, pop, pop in the hall.
The unthinkable happens at an elementary school.
One of them had a very bloody face. It was a very violent scene.
More than 24 people are shot, most of them children.
It just seems so unreal. My heart is in a million pieces right now.
The worst school shooting in U.S. history.
And also tonight, breaking news for dozens of local families. Pink slips are passed out at American Airlines. We have a live report coming up in about 4 minutes in North Tulsa.
Plus, investigators uncover a violent threat involving the shooting of students at Bartlesville High School and bombing deaths of police officers. But first, on Tulsa's Channel 8, tragedy strikes a small community in Connecticut.
A gunman walked into Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, and fired numerous rounds into classrooms. Tonight, at least 27 people died, most of them children. Reporter Maribel Aber has new developments from the scene.
Tragedy in a small Connecticut community.
This is just mind-blowing. It's unbelievable.
Police say a shooter struck Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown Friday morning.
There were several fatalities at the scene, both students and staff.
A parent inside the school at the time said she believed at least 100 rounds had been fired. The alleged shooter is dead and police have recovered 3 weapons. The first 911 call came in around 9:30 a.m. Police implemented an active shooter search.
There were police with rifles and handguns. They were on the roof. They were surrounding the school.
President Obama ordered U.S. flags to half staff in honor of the victims. Speaking about the children killed, he fought back tears.
They had their entire lives ahead of them. Birthdays, graduations, weddings, kids of their own.
He also offered assistance and condolences to Connecticut's governor during a difficult time.
I only ask that all of our fellow citizens here in the United States and around the world who have already offered their assistance remember all of the victims in their prayers.
The community is left to wonder how this could happen in their town.
How could somebody do this? It's sickening.
In Newtown, Connecticut, Maribel Aber, Tulsa's Channel 8.
And tonight, viewers are expressing sadness, anger, and condolences on her Ktul Facebook page. Juanita says, "May God comfort all involved." Also, Sammy wrote, "My heart aches for the families." Amy writes, "We need God more now than ever."
Local schools are reacting to today's shooting in Jinx. Superintendent Kirby Lehman sent a note to all staffers asking them to be extremely vigilant and following safety policies and procedures. He added there would be an increased police presence at all campuses. Tulsa Public Schools wants to ensure all parents that plans are in place to protect your kids should tragedy strike here.
Guards are stationed at campus high schools and middle schools, and we're told about half the schools have either cameras or door locks where visitors can be buzzed in. TPS also does 14 drills a year involving all kinds of emergencies, including shootings.
I feel pretty confident that our employees know what to do. It's just a question of, will they be able to perform that under this type of horrific scenario?
Ruddick says because he raised 3 kids, tragedies like today's are gut-wrenching. Channel 8 will be streaming live ABC coverage of the school shooting on our website, Ktul.com. You can also see the latest headlines under our breaking news banner. It's at the top of our homepage. And with everything going on in Connecticut, law enforcement right here in Green Country were investigating what could have been a very similar incident.
An 18-year-old student is accused of a violent plan to kill fellow students at Bartlesville High School. Channel 8's Kimberly Hulsey is covering this story and is live with us on the phone now with more. Kimberly.
Well, Kristen, according to the affidavit from the district attorney's office, 18-year-old Sammy Chavez went to the high school cafeteria on Wednesday trying to recruit other students to carry out a plan to get students into the school auditorium where he planned to begin shooting them after chaining the doors shut. This morning, Chavez was located by Bartlesville police and arrested on threats to kill. Now, we just spoke with school officials, and they tell me they are glad students came forward with the original information so that their staff could act quickly and report that information to police. Now, they did tell me within the last few hours parents have been notified by email on what is going on, and they will continue throughout the next few weeks to have more police presence on their campuses. Kristen?
Thank you, Kimberly. And just to be clear, Bartlesville Public School District did release that no students were ever in danger. Again, thank you, Kimberly, for that. Be sure to watch Tulsa's Channel 8 at 10 o'clock. We're continuing coverage on this story.
Also tonight, Channel 8 is covering another breaking story. More than 70 American Airlines workers here in Tulsa are out of a job.
That's what the president of Tulsa's chapter of the Transport Workers Union told Channel 8's Caitlin Alexander. Caitlin's live with those numbers. Caitlin.
Mark and Kristen, we are hearing lots of numbers being thrown around, and the president here says 73 workers clocked out for the last time today. Another 70 are being reassigned somewhere else in the system.
We have around another 70 folks that were awarded other stations in the system that'll be going to that station.
About 70 being reassigned, but that's not counting the 73 that President Sam Siri says clocked out for the last time today. American sent us these numbers today saying 38 workers are being laid off. However, Siri says that could only be counting the mechanics. The number, he says, is actually closer to 73. He says all of this comes after 773 workers here opted for early retirement. Having all this hit around the holidays doesn't make it any easier.
It's always tough on the individual and their families, and it's usually a rough time.
Siri says those job numbers should be stable at least through the middle of next year. Live in East Tulsa, Caitlin Alexander, Tulsa's Channel 8.
Thank you, Caitlin. And Siri also says that 110 workers will be brought in from other stations.
Well, our temperatures have held up pretty good. We've had a line of showers and thunderstorms that have passed through earlier today, more on the line of showers and less on the line of thunderstorms. But that's not the way it's going to shake out for the rest of the evening. In fact, if you'll take a look at HD Max 8000, there is a line of thunder showers passing through Amarillo and headed towards Oklahoma City right now that is very linear in nature. It's beginning to break up. That's a good thing. That is a plus because there's some hail associated with, there's some damaging straight line winds, and in its path, it has left some marks of destruction behind it. Nothing super serious, but strong winds, and we're keeping an eye on it for you as it pushes and continues to make its way towards Tulsa. Not a lot of rain. It's one of those very, very quick moving systems, so it'll be in and gone almost before you know it. So our day's going to shape up like this, and you're looking at some showers at 7, just a few around the area, 53, southerly winds at 19. By midnight, 51, and then at 7 a.m., I've got a few clouds, but likely it will be pretty clear and a pretty nice way to start your day with your morning temperatures in the 40s and headed all the way up into the 60s before it's all said and done. Mark, Kristen.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Bud. But tonight, police are searching for the driver who hit a man on Highway 169 overnight, then took off. That happened near 41st Street. Police say the victim lived nearby and walked over to check on a driver who crashed. He started directing traffic around the debris when someone in a gray Dodge Durango hit him, then drove away. Police believe the hit-and-run driver might have been drunk. At last check, the victim was in serious condition. An OSU student accused of sexual assaults of male students won't be spending the night in jail.
22-year-old Nathan Cochran is charged with 3 counts of sexual battery while the alleged victims were sleeping. Channel 8's Yvonne Lewis is in Stillwater with new developments.
OSU is taking heat for not reporting alleged sexual assaults by 22-year-old Nathan Cochran. The university did not report it to police, but handled it internally under what's called the Federal Education Rights Privacy Act, which initially prohibits the school from identifying Cochran.
OSU should take preventative measures furthermore to keep things like this from happening.
Cochran is charged with lewd acts involving 2 male OSU students, but police say 6 others have filed police reports so far, and there may be more. We went to the Farmhouse fraternity for comment.
Was he a part of the fraternity?
I'm not interviewing. He is no longer associated with this.
Cochran has been suspended from OSU before his case makes it through the court. We compared this to a similar case that involved athlete Darrell Williams. He was allowed to remain in school while he was on trial. OSU says it was because Cochran went through a school panel, while Williams' case began with a police investigation. Is there a double standard? Is the school too protective of its brand at the expense of its alleged victims? As for students on campus today, they wonder how this will all play out.
And it's not going to affect my pride just because I go here. It's an unfortunate circumstance, but it is what it is.
All right, again, Yvonne Lewis reporting for us tonight. OSU says it will be looking further into the matter with the panel that was already set up after the Penn State scandal.
Well, 2012 is on track to be the hottest year in Oklahoma ever recorded.
But from construction to gardening, that means some major changes. Plus, you could be doing your Christmas shopping in shorts.
All right, we'll take a look at a pretty severe line of storms that is pushing its way towards green country, and it's beginning to show some signs of weakening. We'll talk about that when we get to your weather segment coming up here in just a few minutes on Tulsa's Channel 8.
And parents are being urged to be especially watchful of young children.
And it's the end of an era here on Tulsa's Channel 8. After the break, we're saying so long to an old friend who's retiring.
This is Bill Mitchell reporting in Tulsa.
Today, we here at Channel 8 said happy trails to a dear friend and a great colleague. After 43 years, Bill Mitchell is retiring, and today was his last day. For years, Bill worked as a reporter here in Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and in Little Rock. During that time, he won numerous awards. Bill also served our country in the Army from 1962 to 1965. Congratulations to our good buddy. You will be missed. Well, we are on track to have one of the warmest years in history.
No snow or ice so far, and some days it's so warm we don't need a jacket. But the mild temperatures may have more an effect on us than you may think. Channel 8's Kim Jackson takes a look.
At this store, customers have come in and taken all the scarves off the shelf, not because it's so cold, but because it's fashionable. But they're still waiting on those mad crowds before Christmas.
I can start you another one, and you can always combine them later on.
Okay. Janet Greenwood says she's finally getting in the mood for Christmas.
With the weather being so nice, it doesn't quite seem like Christmas, but now we're kind of getting into the Christmas spirit. You know, going to the mall and shopping, and it's kind of hitting us now.
But crowds have not hit, so workers at the Buckle have been busy reminding customers about their layaways, and they're also being fashionably aggressive.
And inviting people out in the mall, like when we go on break, like, hey, they're like, hey, I love your outfit. Oh, come to the Buckle, come see us.
You'll see construction crews happy that it's so warm, no snow, no ice, and this crew is ahead of schedule.
I love it to work, yeah. You don't have to bundle up, it's comfortable.
As for your flowers, grass, and trees, you may have to water them. No moisture means they could dry out. Not everyone wants a white Christmas combined with shopping. It can be a real pain.
As we get older, the cold weather just hurts my bones. It does. So I'm really loving it this year.
So you're feeling good?
I'm feeling good, really good, yes.
Cold or mild, there is still time to get into the holiday season with 11 days before Christmas. In Midtown, Kim Jackson, Tulsa's Channel 8.
And retailers are excited Christmas falls on a Tuesday this year, giving them a full weekend for shoppers before the holiday.
And for a lot of people, the weekend has officially started, and I know so many are going to be going out into the city trying to find those Christmas gifts. It's time.
Yeah, when I was looking at Jennifer's Extended, she was talking about the other night how it looks to be considerably warmer than it should be when we get to Christmas. So I don't think that white Christmas thing's going to happen, but I think it's still got to get you got to work yourself into the mood and get the kids bought for, get the family bought for.
We can still do that.
Yeah, we may have some colder air coming, but it doesn't look over the next 8 days like it's going to be a lot.
Okay.
In fact, let's talk about that. First, let's take a look at traffic. So there's some things happening right now. 41st and Yale is a place where we have an accident that's being reported at this hour, and we're continuing to work a few. It looks as though traffic is flowing pretty well through most of the area today, so it's a pretty good day on a Friday. That's always a win when things aren't bogged down and completely choked. Kind of bring it in and let's see what's happening in terms of our showers on your way home. Sky took picking up a little bit of rain. There was a little bit more being reported in Claremore right now, but as you can see, most of the major thoroughfares are pretty good right now and not a lot of rain in the way, so it shouldn't slow you down a whole lot if you have some places to go. Maybe you're heading out shopping and you're trying to get yourself into the spirit. Our 50-degree temperature right now looks good. Skies are clear, feels good outside. 54% your humidity right now, and as you take a look at your dew point at 34. Your wind's still very strong out of the southeast at 18. If you're headed out shopping, might be a good night to wear a hat. All in all, we made it to 54 today, so still unseasonably warm, a couple of ticks above where we should be for this time of year. Wagoner at 47, Tulsa at 50, Coffeyville at 50. Looking around, seeing some of the temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s. Ponca City at 52. But I'm telling you, in Ponca City right now, they're dealing with some pretty strong winds at 21 miles per hour. shower. Also 14 in Okmulgee, 18 in Tulsa. A lot of very strong wind, and that's going to hang out with us all the way through the overnight and all the way into the first part of the day for tomorrow. Expect those winds to be very, very strong. This is a look at some of the showers that have passed over us over the last couple of hours. There's been some pretty strong showers, but nothing really severe. No reports of any damage at this hour. Just a little bit of rain, and we can certainly use it. What's next? This is something I want to pay attention to. We'll take a look at this system that's behind me right now as it pushes its way towards green country. Look at how strong that is. I don't like the bow that's there, but I do see some signs of weakening, especially in the north. Now, there's some hail associated with this system, and there's also some very strong winds, and behind it, a little bit of damage being reported back out to the west. So I'm taking a watch for you and keeping an eye on it for you, and we'll see what happens over the next couple of hours. I'm hopeful that it will begin to lose some of the energy, and the air will push in here will pick up the rain without all of the straight line winds or the hail that goes along with it. Now, take a look at what's happening. This low will push on out. What's behind it? Nothing but clear skies, a very, very pretty setup. The only problem is on the backside of that, you're going to have some very strong winds. So you're looking at 35-mile-per-hour winds before it's all said and done for the day tomorrow. And not a lot of clouds. Tomorrow will be virtually cloud-free. It's going to be a good setup all day. Now, as you plan your day, you headed out first thing in the morning. Maybe you have some shopping. Go at 47-ish first thing in the morning. Maybe a few clouds. Likely it'll be clear. Now, move on around to noon. 63. We're going to get to 67 tomorrow, so a pretty nice day all the way around. And then by 5, you're looking at 59. Take a look at your 8-day right now, and you look at those temperatures, and you'll be in agreement with me that we are considerably above where we should be. Again, hard to get in the Christmas spirit, but lots of sun, a little over the 50-degree mark for most of the week. We are going to have some wind shifts through the week, so some days won't feel as good as others. When you get those northwesterly winds at 50, you're looking at the day feeling much cooler. But not a lot of snow in the forecast. No. That's good if you don't like cold.
67, can't get much snow out of that, can you?
No, if we do, then I need to go back and study some more, because things have definitely broke bad in my training.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Bud.
The Oklahoma City Thunder, the hottest team in the NBA, of course, and they look at a new set of franchise records tonight. Find out what it is after the break.
Every game for us has a lot of meaning to it at this point. I don't think it's, maybe if we were rolling, playing well, it probably has added significance, but at this point, I wish we had the Washington Generals on our schedule.
Sadly for Kobe, the Washington Generals are not on the Lakers' schedule. They dropped their 4th straight last night to the Knicks, falling to 9-14 on the season. The Thunder are in much better shape than the lowly Lakers. They look for win number 10 in a row tonight, which would be a franchise record. Wednesday's 4-point win over lowly New Orleans was the closest game that OKC's played since a 2-point win at Detroit, and that game was back in early November. Over the last 10 games, KD has been on fire. He's averaging just a tick under 30 points a game. But back to tonight, the Kings enter at 7-14, which is the second worst record in the Western Conference. OKC sitting at 18-4 atop the Western Conference with the best record in the entire NBA. Tip-off from the Peak is at 7 o'clock. There's a big-time high school basketball matchup to keep your eye on tonight. It's over in Class 5A. Number 2 Memorial hosts number 3 Edison. Should be a fantastic game. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock over at Memorial High School. Well, TU continues to reel in the football recruits for this week, if you're keeping count at home. One day after Union defensive end Dalton Rodriguez switched his commitment from OU to Tulsa, his teammate Blake Mejia did the same from Texas Tech. He's going to now be wearing the blue and gold next season. In all, Tulsa has 6 commits from prospects ranked in Rivals Top 20 here in the state of Oklahoma. You now have just 1 day left to sign up for our Bowl Mania Challenge, so do it now as soon as I'm done here. Head to the sports page at KTUL.com, click on the Bowl Mania banner. That'll take you to the sign-up page, and you make your selections, see how you fare against some of our on-air talent here, as well as some of the viewers. I'm going to slowly walk back to my seat here because at 5, Bud, you mentioned I was wearing jeans, so I just wanted to make sure you saw.
You've got pants on.
I'm not wearing jeans. I did this for you. So no more jeans.
But it's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
Hey, I'm not calling you out, but this is the first time I've ever seen you in nice slacks.
Oh, why do you have to lie on air like that?
Come on. you can those jeans.
Oh, come on now.
We'll see you at 10 o'clock, everybody.